Shalom, everyone. This is Dr. Durr. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah, He who breathes life. Behold the nail hands. His son Yahusha. Yahuwah is salvation. The Ruach HaKodesh, the set apart spirit. The Comforter, the one who leads into all truth. Praying that all is well with you and your family, and praying that you will be obedient to Yahuwah and accomplish and fulfill all that He's put in your hands to do. We give Yahuwah the glory today, the honor, and the praise. Today I'm going to be reading to you from the Apocrypha book, or the Apocrypha Bible. I'm going to read to you the story Baal and the Dragon, chapter 1. It's only one chapter, and we're going to read from it as a very powerful chapter to me, dealing with Daniel, dealing with the Daniel, the book. Remember the book of Daniel, how he deals with the Hebrew boys, and they were taken to Babylon to be held captive, and Daniel ended up in the lion's den, and Daniel begins to interpret dreams to the king, tell him how his kingdom would be taken from him, how the Hebrew boys were in the book of Daniel were told to bow down, but they wouldn't bow when they were thrown into the fiery furnace, but Yahusha was in the fire with them to bring them out. So that's the Daniel that I'm talking about. Now, here's another story about Daniel, taken from the Apocrypha book, one of the books that were taken out of the scriptures. There were 14 books that were in the original King James 1611 Bible, and they were taken out, and said that stated that these books were not of the original canon of Scripture, but they were taken out. But they were not part of the original. Why would something be taken out? Was it was a part of the original? I'll tell you why it was taken out, because there's a bunch of hidden truths in these books that these people did not want you to see. As I stated earlier, deception at the highest level. So we're going to read this book, Baal and the Dragon, chapter 1, and we're going to talk about a few things in here. It's a good story. If you haven't gotten the chance to read it yet, read it. And it starts, verse 1, and King Astyages was gathered to his father. That means he passed away. And Koresh of Persia, means Cyrus of Persia, took over and received his kingdom. And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. You know, Daniel had favor with the kings that he was up under because of who Daniel was. He had favor and honor above all his friends. Now the inhabitants of Babel, the place where they live, Babel is a place of confusion, or a place of being confounded, had an idol. Guess what the name of the idol was? They called the idol Baal. They were worshiping Baal, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. They kept bringing that to Baal every day. Every day. 4 verse, and the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. The king Cyrus began to worship this idol Baal, and he began to adore that statue. But Daniel worshipped his own Elohim, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And the king said unto him, why do you not worship Baal, Daniel? The king watching that you in my kingdom. So the king Cyrus asked him a question, Daniel, why do you not worship Baal? And Daniel answered and said, the 5th verse, because I may not worship idols made with hands. Same go for every Hebrew Israelite around the world. But the living Elohim is number one. Number one living Elohim, the Most High Elohim, who has created the heavens and the earth, number one, and sovereignty, and has sovereignty over all flesh. Nothing but one Elohim. No other Elohim, the little e's, have any sovereignty or any power over all flesh. They have no authority, no power, but the power people give them, and the power that that the devil releases to make you think that he has power, but he ain't got none. We're going to show you in a few minutes. We're going to read about this false image and this false idol. The 6th verse, then said the king unto him, do you not think that Baal is a living Elohim? Do you not see how much he eats and drinks every day? And Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived. Don't be deceived. For this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. That goes for every person today that's worshiping these idols. These idols have no power. They're nothing but stone, wood, metal, clay. And you got people talking about these idols' eyes blink. That's a demon on top of that idol, manifesting itself, making you think something is happening when nothing is happening. Enemy playing tricks with your mind. Let's go on down. Let's see what else Daniel said after he smiled. The 8th verse, and the king, Cyrus, guess what, was wroth, got mad at Daniel, and called for his priests, and said unto them, if ye tell me not who this is that devours these expenses, ye shall die. The king called these priests and said, you better tell me who's eating all this stuff. The 9th verse, but if you can certify that Baal devoured them, if you can certify this, validate this, then Daniel shall die. For he has spoken blasphemy against Baal. Daniel's up here blaspheming my God, or my fake Elohim, or my Elohim per se, what King Cyrus would say. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to your word, king. Let's go ahead and do this test. Let's see what you got. Come on, bring it on. When you have confidence in Yahuwah, confidence in your Elohim of who he is, you're not worried about what no enemy can do. I would not be concerned about what the enemy can do. Why? Because the enemy that Daniel was coming against was not real. And Daniel knew that they were going to have to lie to try to trap Daniel, to even get Daniel killed. Let's find out what happened. The 10th verse. Now the priests of Baal were 70 of them, besides their women and children. And the king went with Daniel into the temple of Baal. They went in. And Baal priest said, lo, we go out, but you, king, set on the meat, make ready the wine, shut the door fast, and seal it with your own insignia. They said, king, go ahead and seal the door, lock this thing down, so nobody can't get any tricky, king. And the 12th verse said, and tomorrow when you come in, this is what they said to the king, his priests, if you find not that Baal has eaten up all, we will suffer death. And else Daniel that speaks falsely against us. In the 13th verse, and they little regarded it, for under the table they had made a private interest. Look what these joker did. Made a private interest whereby they entered in continually and consumed those things. These jokers were so sneaky that these fake priests and their family members will go in and sneak up under the idol and come in through the private interest and will begin to eat and consume of all the food. And then the next day the king would think that the idol ate it up because the king was tricked. Oh, the king thought he was worshiping somebody that was real, that had power. Like Yahushua always say, or Yahuwah, would say, you got Elohims that can't talk. They can't see, they can't touch, they can't even hear you. Let's go on down. The 14th verse. So when they were gone forth, the king set meat before Baal. Now Daniel had commanded his servant to bring ashes. Look what Daniel did. Daniel said, okay, bring some ashes in here. And those that strew throughout the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with a king insignia, so they departed. So what Daniel said, well, okay, since you're going to do that to me, I want y'all to bring me some ashes that came from the fireplace. Bring me some ashes. King, you go ahead and put your meat up there, and I'm going to put some ashes on the floor. In between me and you alone, king, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do this in the presence of you, king. Everybody did what they needed to do. Everybody went away, but Daniel put them ashes all over the place. They couldn't see those ashes. They didn't know it blended in with the floor. And Daniel said, let everybody get out the way. Let everybody go to their own place, and everybody departed. The 15th verse, let's find out what happened. Find out what happened. Now in the night came the priests with their women and children, as they were ought to do, and did eat and drink up all. In the morning early the king arose, and Daniel with him. And the king said to Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, O king, they are whole. King said, ain't nobody broken the door. Ain't nobody get in, Daniel. So I know my bail is straight. Let's find out what he said, the 18th verse. And as soon as he opened the door, the king looked up on the table and cried with a loud voice, great are you, O Baal, and with you is no deceit at all. Baal, you didn't deceive me. I knew you were going to eat that food. I knew you were going to tear into that food, that wine and that food. I knew you was going to eat it. And guess what happened to Daniel in the 19th verse? Daniel was so confident in Yahuwah, the Bible said that Daniel laughed. He laughed at the king and held the king that he should not go in, and said, behold now, don't even go in, king. Don't step all the way in, king. I'm about to show you a mystery, a miracle. I'm about to show you, a mystery right quick. Look in front of you. Behold now the pavement and the mock's well, whose footsteps are these? And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And the king was angry. Guess what Daniel did? The ashes, after everybody left, Daniel made sure those fake priests were gone. Everybody was out. He put the ashes down in front of the king and said, King, hold up. We're going to leave out of here. I want you to seal your door. He didn't know why Daniel was doing what he was doing, but Daniel had a plan. And he revealed unto the king what he had did. 21st verse. And took the priest, the king got so mad and angry, he took the priest with their women and children, who showed him the private doors where they came in and consumed such things as were on the table. Therefore the king did what? Slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him in his temple. He said, Daniel, take this Baal idol, take it. And in that same place there was a great dragon which they of Baal worship. Daniel got rid of that idol, that Baal idol. Then all of a sudden there was a dragon that would be there in the same arena which they worship. The people in Babel, the place of confusion, they worship the dragon also. These people worship all type of gods. Elohim, little g's and little e's. 24. And the king said unto Daniel, will you also say that this is of brass? Lo, he lives. This dragon is alive. He eats and drinks. You cannot say that he is no living Elohim. Therefore worship him. Daniel said, hold up. King came to Daniel with an attitude and said, hold up, Daniel, since you got rid of Baal, now you ain't going to tell me this dragon ain't real. This dragon real. He eats, he drinks, he does everything. You ain't going to fall down and worship him. We worship him. Then Daniel said in the 21st verse unto the king, I worship YAHUAH Elohai, or Elohim, for he is the living Elohim. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give you leave. What the king was saying, I'm going to show you my God is powerful, Daniel. Because if Daniel ended up killing that dragon, you realize he wasn't a Elohim. He was nothing. Well, Daniel, in the 27th verse, then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair and did seethe them together. He put it together and made it hot, made a lump thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth. And so the dragon burst asunder. He clogged where the dragon would breathe out fire. Daniel put it in and closed it up like a cylinder. Clogged it up. And Daniel said, lo, these are the Elohims ye worship. And it's like a gun. When you have a gun and you're ready to fire the gun, if you put something in the barrel, that gun will blow up on the individual that's shooting that gun, because the bullet cannot be released. It's something in the way that's making a barrier. So Daniel made this stuff and he put it in the dragon's throat, in his mouth, and closed up where the dragon normally would breathe out fire, and shut that dragon off. Shut his source of power off. And when he did that, he blocked that area that he would breathe out fire. And guess what happened? So now the dragon couldn't breathe out fire. Guess what happened? So all that fire built up and backed up inside of him. And guess what happened? He blew up. And Daniel said, this your Elohim you worship? 28 verse. When they of Baal heard that, they took great indignation, these false idol worshippers, and conspired against the king, got mad at the king, saying, the king is become a Yehudim. He become a Yehudim, a person that's of the tribe of Judah. He's a Yehuda. Excuse me. He's of the descendant of the tribe of Yehuda. This man is he's a Yehudi, and he is out of order. He has destroyed Baal. He has slain the dragon and put the priest to death. They were mad at the king and start saying he had become a Yehudi, a Jew, and he destroyed Baal. You slain the dragon and you're going to destroy the priest? No, king, something got to happen here. He said, so they came to the king and said, deliver us, Daniel, or else we will destroy you and your house. We coming after you. You're going to destroy all these. You're going to destroy the priest. You're going to destroy the dragon. And you destroy Baal. All those things we worship. And those people that helped us worship. No, we're going to destroy you, king. You don't give us Daniel. Now when the king saw they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them. And these men ended up doing, guess what they did? They cast Daniel in the lion's den, where he was 6 days in the lion's den. They put him in the lion's den. That place, I guess, was utilized often when somebody did something wrong. No, Daniel went in the lion's den before. This time they put him in there for 6 days. He was in there 6 days. And when the den there was, in the den there was 7 lions, they had given them every day 2 carcasses, 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to intend they might devour Daniel. They normally get the lions 2 carcasses of sheep every day. They will also get them 2 carcasses and 2 sheep for the lions to eat. But when they stopped giving it to them, they said, well, maybe if we don't give these lions this stuff, when Daniel go in there, they're going to tear him apart. And they withheld them from them. They didn't give it to him. So they thought that when they put Daniel in the lions den, that it was going to be over for Daniel. Now there was in Yehuda a prophet called Habakkuk, a prophet of Elohim, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers, those people that were outside working. But the angel of Yehuda, YAHUAH said unto Habakkuk, go carry the dinner that ye have into Babel unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. Now go take this food to Daniel. And Habakkuk says, is Chabaka in Hebrew, said, Adonai, I never saw Babel, neither do I know where the den is. And the angel of YAHUAH took him by the crown and bore him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babel over the den. He put him where he was. Angel took him, said, come go with me. Boom, put him right there. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which Elohim has sent you. And Daniel said, you have remembered me, O Elohim, neither have you forsaken them that seek you and love you. Daniel said, even in the midst of this lion's den, I've been sitting here. You didn't forget me, Yah. You came to protect me. You didn't forsake me. Daniel said, you don't forsake those who seek you and that love you. And Daniel rose and did eat, the 39th verse, and the angel of YAHUAH set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. He took him from one location, and he took him back to where he belonged, to Daniel's location, then took him back home again. That happened to Philip, where he was one place to another place, translated. One place to another place. Hallelujah. Let's find out what happened. So Daniel arose, did eat, and the angel of Yah, who was set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately, the 40th. Upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel. He was crying out for Daniel. And when he came to the den, he looked in, behold, Daniel was just sitting there. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, great is YAHUAH Elohim of Daniel. He began to praise YAHUAH Elohim, and there is none other besides you. Began to cry out and say, Daniel Elohim is real. And the 42nd verse, and what happened to those men that came against Daniel? The king got so mad, and he drew him out. He got Daniel out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den. And they were devoured in a moment before his face. The lions didn't touch Daniel, but when those men got put in, guess what happened? They were destroyed. What a great story. What a powerful story out of one of the apocryphal book, Baal and the Dragon, chapter 1, only one chapter. I pray that you received that today, and I believe that that message was an insightful message to let you know that Yah loves his people, and if you seek him and love him, he will not leave you alone, even in the hardest of places. So please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, push that like button, hit that notification bell, so you'll be alerted of new messages, and share this lesson. I love you. Shalom.